this is the 100th episode, I am doing a giveaway. So stay tuned because at the end of this episode, I will tell you how you can enter to win because I am going to give away a free full ride spot in my 12-week Restore program inside my new app, Pelvic Floor, Core, and More. So if you haven't already, friend, go download Pelvic Floor, Core, and More. It is free, and you're going to get access to all the free tips and tricks and goodies that I end up uploading on that app, but you also get access to great tracking features where you can keep an eye on things like your pain, if you're leaking, how your stress is, your sleep, so much more. And if you want to be entered to win a free spot, which is over a $500 value. Actually, I will tell you it's over $1,000 value, but right now I'm selling my course for $500. So you are getting a $500 plus value for free to get in on my new 12-week program to help bring you out of the pain, out of the leaking, out of the pressure, out of the confusion, out of the stress, wondering what to do, decision fatigue. Am I doing it correctly? Should I even be doing this exercise? Or do I need to stretch? Let's take all that questioning out and let me help you. Hey, I'm your host, Dr. Desiree Cassell. I'm an orthopedic and pelvic floor physical therapist specializing in women's health, aka pelvic floor. I'm a wife, mom of 3, foodie, lover of all things movement and nature, and I'm super passionate about educating, empowering, and supporting other women like you to find and maintain balance throughout all aspects of their lives, without pain, pressure, or peeing their pants. And this is the Balanced Momtality podcast, where we will talk about all things pelvic floor, your core, and optimizing your pregnancy, birth, and postpartum recovery, providing you with the knowledge and tools so that you can feel like the strong, playful, and happy mom that you and your family deserve. Now let's get you out of those pads and back to loving movement. Fill up your water, pop in those AirPods, roll out your mat, and let's connect. Before we start today's episode, just a quick disclaimer that anything mentioned in this podcast is not meant to treat or diagnose any medical conditions. If you have any questions or concerns about your healthcare needs, please seek the care of your medical provider. This is also a safe space where we will be talking about very sensitive but important topics, such as issues with peeing and pooping, relationships, and even sex. So if you have littles around, probably a good idea to pop those AirPods in. But otherwise, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Hello, friends. So happy to have you here again with me on the podcast. We are Pelvic Floor, Core, and More with the Balanced Momtality. I'm Dr. Desiree Cassell, and this is the 100th episode. I am just so thrilled and grateful that you have listened to me for 2 years. For you OGs who have stuck with me since the beginning, I am just so thankful for you, thankful for your feedback, helping me spread the word, and just listening and getting this information every single week. And if you are new here, welcome. You have chosen a great episode to jump in on because since this is the 100th episode, I am doing a giveaway. So stay tuned because at the end of this episode, I will tell you how you can enter to win because I am going to give away a free full ride spot in my 12-week Restore program inside my new app, Pelvic Floor, Core, and More. So if you haven't already, friend, go download Pelvic Floor, Core, and More. It is free, and you're going to get access to all the free tips and tricks and goodies that I end up uploading on that app, but you also get access to great tracking features where you can keep an eye on things like your pain, if you're leaking, how your stress is, your sleep, so much more. And inside the Restore program, you get access to 12 weeks of content with lessons and 5 and 20-minute exercise options so that you can show up consistently for yourself. Inside that program, you also get access to me via a private, exclusive community where you can reach out to me and just post accountability in our group to get support and motivation to keep showing up and lifting each other up. That is what this is all about. We are a woman gang here to help lift each other up. And if you choose to join the program, you also get access to weekly group coaching calls where you can ask me more specific and individualized questions, and I can guide you more individually through my program or just to help manage anything that's going on in your life, because I know you're balancing so many things. And that's where this podcast comes in. So many good tips and tricks in the last 2 years. This episode is counting as also my 2-year anniversary as podcasting, because even though it's not technically 2 years yet, it will be on the 17th. I am 2 weeks away from that, and it's our 100th episode. So we're just going to make this a big 2-year anniversary bash / 100th episode party / giveaway. And I just wanted to reflect a little bit on my journey in today's podcast, because I just keep showing up. I have no idea how it's going to flow. I will tell you, I am not someone that is a type A, organized, have all these cliff notes, everything scripted and written out. And I know if I got to that level, yes, I would probably be a little bit more successful here. I know that that is my downfall, but guess what? I am not letting perfectionism stop me from showing up for you. I am not editing and getting too hyperfixated on the likes and the ums and my rambling. And I'm sure if you've listened to me more often than not, you know my brain can ramble and go on tangents. I have ADHD. I am here trying to juggle it all with you alongside. So I know the struggles, and this podcast was something that, I want to sit here and celebrate today, because 2 years ago, I was starting my practice. I had been doing my physical therapy practice in person for about a year. And I had this pull because I am a cash-based practice, and that means not everybody can afford me. And I do want this information to be accessible to all. And so this podcast was kind of a passion project that I was like, this is a great avenue to get this information out for free so that people can know that there's help and know that they're not alone, and know that no, it is not normal to pee, to have pain with sex, to feel heaviness and pressure. I don't care how old you are, how quick or early postpartum you are, or how pregnant you are. These things are not normal, and it's information all women should know. And so I just felt very pulled when I was doing my practice, and choosing not to do insurance was also for my patients, because let's face it, insurance is a fucking scam. Don't even get me started on that rant. And it dictates your care, and they don't know what you need. They are going based off of metrics and coding and billing and reimbursement and how many visits you're allotted, what your diagnosis is, and that dictates what we can treat, yada, yada, yada. It's all a big bunch of bull. They don't know what's going on with your body. They do not and should not be dictating your care. So I opted to go on my own and be private pay so that I could provide that full, whole body, holistic care that you do deserve. The mental piece is important. The foot piece is important. I don't care if you're leaking and having pelvic symptoms. I'm still looking at your feet, your knees, your hips, your jaw, your shoulder, your back. It is all connected. And I was so sick of getting denials because, hello, they came in with incontinence. Why are you looking at their foot? I don't know. Why don't you go get a doctorate degree and stop telling me what to do? So again, I don't want to rant on that, but just a huge reason why I opted to go cash-based, because I wanted this high quality care for you. But again, it puts limiting factors. I know it's not accessible to all, and I was so pulled. I wanted that information to be out there. So I did. Having a business also knew I wanted to and needed to show up on social media. So that's where I was putting all this free content, and it just didn't feel good. Like, I still hate showing up on social media. It is my least favorite thing, but knowing I have a business, I know that's where our world is going and we need to have a presence there. But ultimately, the universe led me to some amazing podcast and life coaches and business coaches that helped guide me. And just that message kept popping up, like, are you in alignment with these certain ways you're running your business? This is, if it feels yucky, like, stop doing it. And I just had this awakening of, okay, this does feel yucky, but like, what else can I do? And I felt like such an imposter because podcasting just seemed like such a huge level up, like its own project, its own business, which frankly it is, and it could definitely be. But again, not putting all that pressure on myself. I just really wanted another avenue where I could reach more people worldwide that were looking for this information. And thankfully, the universe provided and put the right coaches in front of me so that I could get that support to ultimately jump the gun. And I decided to start a podcast within just a month, in 2025. So this was 2023. So gosh, actually my practice was already going for a couple years. Man, time is flying. But so January, let's just set a timeline for you. January, I'm like, okay, I hate social media. This is terrible. What else can I do? I don't want to show up here anymore. And then one of the podcasts and business coaches and business podcast coaching that I was listening to that I really liked just started to give this message, of like what fuels you up? How do you authentically show up the best? Do you write? Then you should blog. Do you like to be creative and do reels and edit content? Then you should show up on social media. Do you like to talk and blab and just vent about things, and you could talk to people for days about a certain topic? You should probably do a podcast. And it was just this like light bulb moment of like, duh. You get talking about this, Desiree, and you can't shut up. And so, hello, podcasting is probably the way to go. And so I jumped the gun. I decided to buy this podcast coaching program to help just get me started. And within 30 days, I was launching this podcast again. Felt like such an imposter. Like, what am I even doing here? But I was like, you know what? No, I'm feeling this pull. We're just going to do it. And even if I just get 10 listeners a month, at least I'm helping somebody, and at least this information is reaching somebody. And guys, like, it has been so amazing to see this growth. I am having, we also just reached, and I'm bragging here because yes, I am celebrating. I am choosing today to celebrate my accomplishments and our accomplishments. We've done this together. I could not have gotten here without you, but I was already planning on doing this podcast episode today. And then I was contemplating switching gears because I'll be honest, I had a rough morning. Honestly, like a rough couple weeks. I've just been overwhelmed. I think, I did just launch my app. I've been feeling a little bit more strung out, I think, because of that, and trying to, again, kind of regain balance because starting that app put a big push to put a lot more work in. I found myself on my phone and on my computer a lot more at home than I wanted to. I also kind of got rid of my morning routine because I was working in the morning instead of stretching and doing breath work and all these things that I know are so helpful for my mental state. So you can see why I'm feeling a little frazzled these days. And I've been having some rough mornings with my daughter, especially my middle one. And Lord help me, I love her so much. And I just feel so terrible when we have these rough mornings. And it really does make me feel like a failure, honestly. And I just feel like I can't catch a break, and it's not who I want to be. It's not how I want to show up. I feel like I'm, dropping the ball in all of these areas of my life, and I crumbled. I had a moment. Thank God, my patient, bless her soul. She's so sweet. And she is honestly such a good friend at this point. I've been seeing her she's been coming to me for a couple years now. And we've built a really good relationship. I was so glad she was my patient this morning because she just gave me such a big hug and just reminded me that, this is hard. Motherhood is hard. Life is hard. Balancing all these things is hard, but we are still amazing. We are still great moms. We are still great friends. We are still great daughters. We are still, great wives. Like, we are still, like, we are great no matter how hard it feels. And in fact, because it feels hard, that is how we know we are doing a great job, because we care, right? Like if it didn't feel hard, it would be because we weren't trying. It'd be because we gave zero fucks. We would just be showing up, going through the steps, not giving any fucks about it. But let's be honest, like if it's hard, it's because you care. And that's why you are amazing. And she just gave me this big hug and kind of reignited, like, you know what? No, I'm going to do this episode today and I'm going to celebrate, because I have done so many amazing things in this last couple years, especially, you know, in these my whole life. I think I look back, you know, obviously having my kids is like my biggest accomplishment, and my husband and my family for sure. But career-wise, you know, I never thought I was going to start my own practice ever. Like I actually said, nope, that's not me. I will never run my own business. Haha, I just like working with people. But then, you know, that tug comes and it was like, yeah, but if you want to have that balance and be able to make enough money where you can support your family, but also not work 40 to 60 hours a week, like that's the step you have to take. So I did. I just, even with my practice, decided within like a month or two, I was just going to do it. Like, and again, I immediately am like, nope, like, and that's kind of how my perfectionism shows up. It's like, that wouldn't work out well. Like, you're not actually going to follow through with that. You're not actually going to succeed. So, haha, let's not even like give that any time or attention. No, thank you. But then, you know, something else comes and changes that thought process where it's like, you know what? I could do this, and this will ultimately be better for me in the long run. I'm going to help support so many other people in the long run, and this is where I need to go. And I just don't let myself sit in that place of worry and fear and anxiety of what it might be. I just do it. I just jump in. To some extent, that is at a fault, right? Like I get myself in so many different projects because I have all these little passion projects that pop up, and even while I'm, you know, doing a podcast and still getting that going, I'm thinking, hey, you know what else would be fun? Let's just create an app and a whole online program. Like, I just feel crazy even thinking that. You know, actually, I was meeting up with a friend the other day, and she was so funny. I was telling her, you know, all the things that I'm juggling right now. And she was like, you know what? You know, I think you have so much time on your hands. You should like have another baby or something, you know, like totally joking, because I have no time on my hands. I have gotten myself so busy with my kids' sports and my career and my projects outside of my clinic and my husband. Like, again, we're so busy, right? And it just has been such a great reminder to take the wins and celebrate them, because I have felt like I am, especially again, the last couple months, I have been so much better about this the last couple years, but these last couple months, I definitely put some of my own strategies on the back burner and pushed. I did too much hustle the last couple weeks, the last couple months, and I'm feeling the burnout from it, and I need to shift gears, but I also really need to celebrate these wins, because again, you guys, just 2 years ago, I was like, yeah, right, I will never have a podcast. 4 or 5 years ago, I was like, I will never have a clinic. I won't ever have a successful business. I decided to start my business as this small little mobile practice, going to people's houses. And this was during COVID. Like, it was such a slow start. But I was like, you know what? Anybody's better than nothing. But if I could just even replace my income from my full-time job, that would be a dream. Like if I could work half the hours and replace my income on my own, instead of having to go to a clinic full-time and making half as much, like that would be the dream. And I got there within the first 6 to 7 months of opening my practice. I, again, still felt like I was hustling. And I mean, I had a lot more time with my kids, but in terms of my work and getting my practice going, because you're running a business. It's a lot, especially to get started. But I had again to have to like stop and recognize the wins. Like, hello, you did it. You replaced your salary and now you're home with your kids more. Like, this is amazing. But we forget these wins and we just continue to push through the hustle and grind and keeping up with all the things and not giving ourselves credit, especially women, right? Like, we do not celebrate our wins. It feels almost like boastful. But I am unapologetically boasting the shit out of myself today, because I have started a practice. I started a podcast that 2 years ago didn't exist. And now I have reached 15,000 downloads. Again, not a ton. I know there's people that get that in a month, but I am celebrating that. I get almost 1,000 downloads a month, and that's amazing. When I first started, it was like 500. So we are growing. It is a slow grow, but we are growing, and that is something to celebrate. And shit, even if I still had 500 downloads a month, but I just still showed up for 2 years. You guys, I don't know if you know me very well, but consistency and things like that have been hard for me. And within the last 5 years, and it did start with my fitness. And I know I've talked about consistency with fitness and my journey with that a lot, but it had to start somewhere. I had to prove to myself that I could commit to something and show up for myself. And that overflowed into all these other areas, because especially like feeling like I was showing up on social media, I hated it, even though I told myself like, you can do it. Just show up once a week, twice a week. You can do it. And a lot of times I couldn't. And guess why? Because I hated it, right? Like it just didn't feel right. And here we are almost 2 years after I started the podcast, 100 episodes later, and I am still showing up. After 2 years, I have only skipped 2 weeks. I have only missed 2 weeks of podcasting. And even when that happened, instead of giving myself grief for it, I was like, you know what? I hope my listeners forgive me. I'm sorry. I'll be back again the next week, and I'm just going to keep showing up. I didn't let that blip where I did. I didn't plan for it. I just got overwhelmed. I even recorded it and then just forgot to edit it and post it because life, right? It gets so busy. And I have to give myself grace for that. I just keep showing up. And here we are, 100 episodes later. And I have a new app now. Like, that's insane. I never, ever thought I would get to that level where I have these awesome free resources for you. And so again, if you have anything in your heart that in your soul is just burning and craving to get out and do it, just do it. Don't think too much about it. Just go with it. It will be rough, but seek support, seek help. It is never too late, and any impact is better than nothing. Any action is better than nothing. Any effort is better than nothing. And then give yourself grace, because life gets tough. Life will happen. The energy will dissipate some days. The mood and attitude, right? Like today I was like, I probably shouldn't even record this episode because my brain is so much in a funk. Like I cannot get out of it. And then after just hanging out with my patient/friend, I just, I had to hop on here and just give you guys the down and dirty of my life, and also just celebrate, because we are awesome. We are doing amazing things. And I am here in your corner to cheer you on. If there's anything that you're wanting to accomplish that you're afraid to do, I am here for you. Reach out. And just as a friend to chat and motivate you. There's an amazing free community over on the Balanced Momtality Wellness and Support on Facebook. Go join there. Post your wins, your goals, your dreams, your struggles, your barriers, anything you want to hear on the podcast. That is what it is here for. And then yes, download the Pelvic Floor Core and More app. And if you want to be entered to win a free spot, which is over a $500 value, actually, I will tell you it's over $1,000 value, but right now I'm selling my course for $500. So you are getting a $500 plus value for free to get in on my new 12-week program to help bring you out of the pain, out of the leaking, out of the pressure, out of the confusion, out of the stress, wondering what to do, decision fatigue. Am I doing it correctly? Should I even be doing this exercise? Or do I need to stretch? Like, let's take all that questioning out and let me help you. So how do you enter to win a free spot? Here's what you got to do. So first, you're going to share my podcast. You are going to give a 5-star review and write a review on my iTunes page so that this podcast is more accessible to other women and they can find this free information. You are going to screenshot my podcast or this episode or your review or anything about that and share it in your stories on Instagram or Facebook and tag the Balanced Momtality so that I can see, and you will be entered to win. So please go enter. Leave that review, share it in your stories, and by April 20th, I will be announcing a winner. So that following week after Easter, keep an eye out on my social media accounts, and I will tag you because I will know you because you will have tagged me. So go share a screenshot or share this podcast in your stories on Instagram and just help me spread this word and awareness, and let's celebrate. We have been here for 2 years together, but if you are new here and just showing up, so grateful you are here. And just your support and sharing, spreading the word, leaving reviews, even just your feedback. I have people reaching out to me all over the world telling me how this episode or different episodes have helped impact them and just made them feel not alone. And that in and of itself motivates me to keep showing up for you despite the chaos I am also trying to balance over here in my life. So thanks for being a beacon of light in my life and helping me stay motivated to show up and just grow and be better together. So excited you're here. Love you in my tribe. Thank you so much for showing up. 2 years, man, I can't believe it. Stay tuned for so much more goodies, and don't forget to enter to win. Tag me in your stories. Have a good afternoon. We'll see you next week. Well, that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day. I know you've got so many other important things going on, but I hope it was helpful and you leave here with some tools to help you in your healing journey. And I just want to ask you, if you have found this helpful, to please leave a review on iTunes. Scroll down to the bottom of my podcast page and leave that 5-star review so it can help other women see this information. And also, if you want to be a part of my community of amazing women trying to balance all the things, great tips and insight and sharing stories and just motivating each other along the way, feel free to join my Facebook group, The Balanced Momtality Wellness and Support. I hope to see you here next time on the Balanced Momtality podcast.